The count date, what is it and why is it important? Well, it is important because it's related to registration and funding. As you may know, a home education student is funded, so the parents receive funding for a home education student. And for the student to be funded, the parent needs to have registered that son or daughter into a home ed program by the count date. Currently, the count date is set as September 29th. So you need to make sure, if funding is important, then you need to make sure that you have registered or notified your son or daughter in a home ed program no later than September 29th or the count date. So oftentimes though, why is this important? Is because if you don't register or notify by the 29th of September, then you won't receive funding. Funding isn't everything, but it's sure nice to have, and it's owed to you as a homeschooling parent. So the problem comes up when people, well-meaning people, will say, oh, you have until the count date. You have until September 29th to choose your learning program. And technically, that is correct. The problem comes up with the funding, because if you're not registered by September 29th, your child will not receive the funding. And the problem is exacerbated by if the student is currently registered or enrolled in a teacher-taught program. Because getting a student unenrolled or transferred out from a teacher-taught program can take a while, and of course they're interested in funding too, so they don't want to, I may step on some toes here, they don't want to give up that funding. That's $10,000 or so of funding that goes to that school. They're not going to be happy about transferring out your son or daughter at the last moment in September before the count date, especially if your son or daughter has been there for the entire month of September. So don't wait till September 29th. That's the simple solution. Waiting to September 29th is just asking for trouble. If you know that you're going to home educate before the count date, please don't wait a moment. September is busy for all home ed programs, and if your son or daughter is currently enrolled in a school program, getting that your son or daughter withdrawn and transferred out by September 29th is problematic. Oftentimes what we see, unfortunately, and I'm just going to call it like it is, these teacher-taught programs will transfer out your son or daughter, but they won't do so until October 3rd or October 4th. Well, that's after the count date, so that school has made sure that the school gets your child's funding and that you don't get your home ed funding. So we don't believe that's right, but that happens. So I'm making this video as a warning, a caution, waving the cautionary flag to our parents to not wait until September 29th to notify. Notify with the homeschooling board, whether it's thee or another program, before the 29th. You're just asking for trouble if you wait till the last moment. So you've been warned. Definitely wanted to put that out there that waiting till September 29th is just too late.